Yes, that is right. There's an $1,100 stimulus check that has already been passed, and I want to explain why every single person in the United States should be looking at this, because we could see an additional stimulus check because of the people that will be receiving this one. So I will break that down in today's video. First, happy Wednesday and welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package, and infrastructure update and daily news report for June 30th. Today is the last day of June. Today is also the last day of this quarter. Now, who is going to receive this new $1,100 stimulus check? Is it coming from the federal government? Well, essentially, the money is coming from the federal government. However, the money has been allocated to different states. Well, this money is actually coming for the residents of California. Here's what we know. California has already received their Golden State stimulus check. That was that $600 stimulus check. They received that, or many have already been receiving that from about 2 months ago until even today. And many are still receiving those as we speak. But here's what you need to understand. California has had so much additional money. They have such a surplus of funding that they have to give it back out to their residents. So here's what's actually going on. Just the other day, California passed this piece of legislation where anybody making less than $75,000 per year will receive a $600 stimulus check, as long as you did not receive $600 in the previous round of stimulus. That was about a month or 2 months ago. And those people would have had to make less than $35,000 per year. Okay? So if you have any dependents, whether you have 1, 2, 5, 10 dependents, it doesn't matter. You would also receive a $500 stimulus check for your dependents as well. Again, it's $500 for dependents. It doesn't matter if you have 1 or 5, it's the same thing. You still get $500. That is it. So that brings the total to $1,100. Now, there is also $500 that is going out to undocumented families as well. So this, at least according to reports and according to experts, they say about 66% of Californians will receive this money. So that is actually good news. That means more people will be receiving some form of stimulus very soon. Now, here's the reason I bring this up. I bring this up because many states look into what other states are doing. Many states want to figure out, okay, how can we better serve our residents and our communities? Well, one way we could do that is, well, we could provide a stimulus check, but if we provide a stimulus check, how is it actually going to play into this economic recovery? Are people going to go and get jobs? Are they just going to sit back and wait for their check to come in? And that's what other states are looking into. And other states are going to simply just wait and see what California does, wait and see what the results are. If they're seeing positive results, other states are going to follow suit. And we saw that all throughout the pandemic. And I stated this early on, is that here in Washington State where I live, my governor, Jay Inslee, he was going to look at what Oregon and California were doing. And when California made a move, Oregon made a move, and yeah, right behind him, Washington made that move as well. And so we kind of just follow along. Now, I'm not saying we do that in every instance, but that's what a lot of states do. A lot of governors just look at other states and be like, oh, it's working for them, it will probably work for us as well. And so that's why they make these changes. So just understand, California has given out, or they're going to be giving out 2 rounds of stimulus checks. These are $600 checks. And I believe many states are going to follow suit very soon. Now, is it going to be immediate? No, I don't think it's going to be immediate. I believe, and this after watching many different videos and reading many different articles and interviews and just listening to what leaders are saying, is that this change, these additional stimulus checks or additional relief to the American people, whether it's through the state, the county, or from the federal government, we are going to see this relief come probably in September, maybe towards the end of August. But chances are it's going to come in September. That's at least what most experts currently predict. So we will see what happens, but that is what we know right now. And one of the reasons why many states, and more states will be sending out this funds is because they have a lack of additional help, at least according to where we stand with infrastructure. So as far as a federal benefit there's very limited resources out there now as far as what is coming in the future, what additional relief we are going to see. So remember, the fourth stimulus check, even though, I keep talking about this and I keep bringing this up, and many people kind of slam me and bash me for being negative, but I just want to provide you with the facts. A fourth stimulus check has never been introduced into the infrastructure package. Progressives are pushing for it. Many Democrats want to see it, but it doesn't mean it's in there. We know Congress is trying to leave it up to President Biden to put it in there and see what President Biden pushes for. But then President Biden says he's going to leave it up to Congress. And if Congress wants a fourth stimulus check, then they'll discuss a fourth stimulus check. But at this time, a fourth stimulus check, honestly, is not in the infrastructure package, at least at this time. Now, I do believe it will be introduced at some point. But honestly, if the infrastructure package doesn't pass, it doesn't matter what's in it. It honestly doesn't matter. So again, I understand a lot of you guys are bashing me and in the comments and stuff, and that's completely fine. Okay, that's your choice. It's your right. You can do that as long as you're not using disrespectful words or anything like that. That's completely fine. I honestly accept any feedback that you guys want to give, but I'm just trying to provide you with the facts. Okay, I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to lie to you and say a fourth stimulus check is coming. Honestly, we just don't know. Now, we know that right now, passing both the bipartisan bill and the social infrastructure package, this is what everyone is trying to do. This is what everyone's trying to do. And so we are going to see more states and more counties provide relief to their residents very soon. And again, when I say very soon, I'm talking about within the next couple of months. But it's not all states, it's not all counties, but we're going to see something. We're going to see some sort of relief, and it's going to happen most likely before the end of September at least. So, speaking of relief, many states are actually worried that Americans are not getting the jobs that they need fast enough. This is a worry. This is a worry that many experts are having at this point. Many states say that currently there's roughly about 10 million Americans that are unemployed. That's a pretty high number. That's less than what it was, but still a very high number. This number also includes self-employed though. Okay, just keep that in mind. 10 million is also self-employed individuals as well. And so self-employed individuals, chances are the majority of them will go back to their place of business, wherever they were self-employed, right? They're going to go and do that. However, some will eventually stop their business because it's not working or it's just deteriorated completely over this past year, and they'll go and get a job. So there's about 10 million people that are on unemployment or unemployed at this time. There's actually more than that aren't actually working. And then there's about 9 million open positions throughout the United States. The problem that this is actually that the American people are facing at this time, which is kind of a good and bad thing, is that the American people haven't had this much of a option. They haven't had this much, at least for decades, this many job openings to pick and choose from. So people can kind of be picky as to what kind of job they want. Is the pay going to be good enough? People can actually turn things down because there's so many jobs out there. And if there's only 1 million people that are unemployed, that's actually a good thing according to many experts. 1 million is actually a very low number. Now, I think this is good because the American people at this point, and this is something that experts kind of are saying as well, is that right now the unemployment rate may linger a little bit high. It may linger up there a little bit for a little while, just because the American people are going to go and get the job that they want. You're not going to see somebody with a master's degree go and apply to be a sandwich maker at Subway. Now, you may see it, but are they going to accept it? No, that could be their fallback. You could see people go and apply, and I saw this, okay, and I actually saw this in person just the other day. I was at a retail store, and the manager said that no, whoever they were trying to hire actually declined the manager position because they got a better offer at a competing store. So this is what we're going to see is now employers have to actually compete. They have to compete to get the better employees. And this is good for people that are wanting to make more. This is bad though, because again, this could actually keep the unemployment rate a little bit high, and it could linger up there for a little while. So we'll keep an eye on this. But people or experts are saying that roughly 50% of Americans say that the jobs as of right now are very easy to find. Jobs are easy to find. However, choosing the right job, picking the right job, that is what is taking more time. So we will see, but let me know down in the comment section below if you have recently started a new job. Was it easy to find? Did you get to pretty much ask for a certain wage? Did you get to ask for benefits? Okay, did you negotiate? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Now, this is something that Congress is also working on. Congress wants to see the American people get back to work. Obviously, great. That was going to be beneficial for everybody. But they need to take care of this. The infrastructure package is what they are saying. They want to provide more livable wage jobs to the American people. And one of the ways they're going to do that is by actually building and creating more bridges, roads, railways, and expanding broadband across the country. This is going to provide a bunch of new jobs, and this could essentially bring us, if we can get an additional 1 million jobs out of all this, this could bring us to actually level 10 million unemployed, 10 million open positions. If we can see that, that would be great, according to experts. That would actually get us back to better than what we were before the pandemic. So pre-pandemic, we would actually exceed that, which would be great. But with the recent events, and I want to explain this because this has something to do with climate change. With the recent events, many are worried that one piece of infrastructure is not being taken serious enough, and that is climate change. Now, how does somebody invest into climate change? Because this is nature, right? We cannot change it. We can change it. We can slow it down. Climate change is going to happen. We can slow it down. Here's what experts are saying. What we can do long term, we can do many different things to help prevent such massive changes to our climate. This is where electric vehicles come in, right? This is where recycling comes in, right? This is where all these things kind of take place and take shape. However, short term, here's what they say. That we simply cannot just put a band-aid on the problem, and that is what many people want to do. For instance, here in the Northwest where I live, here in Washington State, we have seen temperatures consistently over 100, 105 in certain places for the past few days. And this is not something that is normal. We are not California or Arizona where we see temperatures, 110, 115 consistently. That is actually causing many issues. So, experts say that in Oregon, California, and Washington, we need to invest more into our infrastructure. And here's the reason, or this is actually how they say we should do it. We should pay for roads that won't buckle due to the heat. So pay for the proper roads, not just putting concrete or asphalt, okay? Because with the excessive heat, those actually will buckle. Those will actually start to deteriorate. We also need to invest in power lines that won't crumble from being overloaded and with too much heat. And we need to raise our bridges to account for a sea level rise. This is what experts are saying. So when you look at the facts, okay, should we invest into climate change? Well, investing into climate change is pretty much meaning let's put a band-aid on all of our other stuff. That's a short-term approach while we fix the long-term approach, which is obviously going more electric, clean energy, all this stuff, right? And so that all kind of ties into it. But again, this is just what we are looking at. And this is what the Democrats are pushing for. They want to see a massive change. And the problem is when we're seeing, excessive heat. Right now, it's over 90 degrees and it's not even 8 o'clock. Not even 8 o'clock here in Washington State. And so 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's over 90 degrees. That's in the end of June, that's something that we usually don't see. But again, it's excessive heat. So what we know right now is this is something that many are pushing for. Okay? We even know that Senator Bernie Sanders, he wants to see a massive bill, about $6 trillion. And just from Bernie Sanders and many Democrats as well, they want to take any funding that was, and this is part of the other issue. Right now we have a bipartisan bill. It doesn't include a lot, okay? It's very, very, very basic. But it does address infrastructure, which is great. That's what the bill is supposed to be about. But here's the issue. Senator Bernie Sanders and many other Democrats originally were proposing and talking about, discussing, pretty much planning this, that whatever funding was left out of the bipartisan bill, so let's say there's money for roads. Let's say it was $100 billion for roads, right? And I'm just throwing that number out there. It's not right. But let's say there's $100 billion for roads, is what originally was planned by President Biden. And then the bipartisan bill and the bipartisan group of senators says, no, let's not do 100, let's do 50. Well, what Senator Sanders and other Democrats were saying was, okay, if the bipartisan bill has 50 billion and we need the other 50 billion, we'll just take the other 50 billion and push it over here to the budget reconciliation bill, and we'll just pass that there. Well, that's great. However, news this morning states that President Biden won't increase spending in the reconciliation bill for items that have already been included in the bipartisan bill. And so that actually sparked many Democrats to get a little upset that President Biden is taking more of a Republican approach to this bill than a Democratic one. And many say that is not right. We have the power. We need to pass big, bold, and robust legislation and do that immediately. So again, we will see what happens, but right now, this is not great news because, the only reason why I say this is not great news is because if this bipartisan bill gets held up, okay, this is the bipartisan bill. This is true infrastructure. That means all social infrastructure, free community college, right? Universal health care, expansion of Medicare, an extension of the child tax credits. There's going to be the earned income tax credits as well, right? All these things. Possibility of a stimulus check, okay? Possibility of other tax credits, right? Possibility of so many different things. The possibility package, the infrastructure, the stimulus package, the social infrastructure package, that is going to be held up. That's going to be delayed because this bipartisan bill has to pass first. Okay, that is where the issue is. Okay, so this is why I say this is not great news. Now, the U.S. Progressive Chair, Pramila Jayapal, she had this to say last night, that progressives are willing to sacrifice the bipartisan infrastructure plan if progressives don't get the budget reconciliation bill in tandem with it. And again, this must include all 5 of progressive priorities. Guess what? Climate change is in there. Now, the other thing that is not in there, however, progressives are pushing for it, are the $2,000 per month stimulus checks. Those are in here. Those are being discussed, but they are not being pushed as one of the top 5 priorities. Again, the top 5 priorities, that is what we need to look at. We need to look at progressives. And again, there's 94 in the House. If 94 people in the House of Representatives decide, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to pay, or I don't want to support this bipartisan bill, guess what? Chances are it's not going to pass. So we need to look at progressives. We need to look at Democrats. We need to look at what President Biden is doing, what Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is doing, what Nancy Pelosi is saying, and we need to look to see what other states are doing as well. Because again, if states are passing stimulus checks from the previous federal funding, chances are we might not see stimulus checks on a federal level. So if more states are providing stimulus checks, then the federal government will probably be like, you know what? The states are already providing this. I don't think we need to do it. And so chances are it might not get done. But that's what we know right now. As I know more, I promise I'll come back and share more. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday afternoon. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.